Harbor seals live on the edge of two worlds. They haul out on rocks, sandbars, and tidal flats to rest, warm up, and conserve energy, then return to the water to feed. A good haul-out is more than a dry surface. It is a platform with quick escape routes and a clear view of the sea. Whiskers and hearing help them detect subtle change. Surf rhythm, distant splashes, birds lifting suddenly. Every tide redraws the map, and the colony adjusts position with it, resting when safety is high, moving when the shoreline shifts, always ready to slip back into water, and the sea's mood decides how long they stay. In harbor seals, courtship and competition are largely underwater. Males do not typically defend beach harems the way some other seals do. Instead, they advertise presence through stamina, positioning, and repeated display dives in nearshore water. Low sounds can travel far underwater, turning the breeding ground into an invisible arena. Encounters between males are often brief parallel swimming, blocking turns, short contact more about control of space than prolonged fights. Females move through this acoustic landscape, assessing timing and safety, and choosing moments when risk feels lowest. Most conflict ends in restraint, not injury. Giving birth on a coast is a geography problem. The mother needs ground high enough to avoid rising water, yet close enough for a fast retreat. Wind matters too. A sheltered pocket reduces heat loss for a newborn. Harbor seals rely on experience in microcues, tide lines, sand firmness, and the distance to the water's edge to pick a site that stays dry but never feels trapped. The choice is temporary, not permanent. As conditions change, she may shift position again and again, keeping an escape lane open and a clear line of sight. One wrong meter can mean a flooded resting spot. Harbor seals usually give birth to a single pup. The first hours are a race against cold and water. A newborn must stabilize breathing, keep contact, and avoid being separated by surf or shifting sand. The mother's role is physical and constant. She blocks wind, positions her body as a barrier, and moves the pup away from the tide line in short, deliberate shifts. There is no quiet nursery here, only a narrow window of safety that expands and collapses with the shoreline. Survival begins with small wins. Staying dry, staying warm, staying close, minute after minute. In the first day, separation is the biggest danger. On a busy haul-out, mix-ups can happen, and a wrong approach costs energy and safety. Mothers and pups maintain contact through a blend of sound, smell, and spacing. A pup learns the safe side of its mother's body and the shortest route back after a clumsy drift. The mother checks, constantly turning, sniffing, and repositioning to keep the pup shielded and visible. Over time, the bond becomes a pattern, a call, a head turn, a brief touch, then stillness. It is not affection in the human sense. It is a survival system tuned to wind, surf, and crowding. Recognition is repeated because the coast is noisy. Harbor seal milk is energy dense, and a pup's job is to convert it into insulation fast. In just a few weeks, body shape changes, more roundness, better heat retention, longer recovery after cold dips. The mother balances feeding with vigilance. She rests to conserve energy, but keeps the sea in view, ready to reposition as the tide redraws the shore. Early water exposure is controlled and brief. A shallow float, a short kick, a quick return to warmth. The pup is not learning to swim in one moment. It is building tolerance, confidence, and a reserve that will soon have to last alone, day by day. Those fat reserves become the pup's first insurance. Swimming is not only propulsion, it is orientation. The pup must learn how currents pull sideways, how waves lift and drop, and where the shoreline becomes slippery. The mother mentors by distance, close enough to intervene, far enough to let mistakes happen. Short sessions build skills, turning without panic, surfacing smoothly, returning to the same haul-out point. Even a small drift can become dangerous if it pushes the pup into deeper water or away from an escape ramp of rock. By the end of this phase, the pup's movements look less like flailing and more like decisions made in real time. Each clean surfacing is a skill, not a reflex. Weaning is the turning point. The mother reduces nursing, and the pup must shift from stored calories to earned calories. This transition is dangerous not because of one dramatic event, but because of many small failures. Cold exposure, missed prey, poor timing with tide, wasted energy and panic. The pup experiments short dives, hesitant chases, quick retreats to shore. Conditions rarely cooperate. Wind and turbidity can remove visibility and make hunting harder. The tension is cumulative. Each attempt costs something, and the ocean does not offer second chances on a schedule, especially to the inexperienced. Hunger teaches quickly, but it punishes mistakes. Hunting is a chain of skills: detecting motion, predicting turns, managing oxygen, and spending energy wisely. Nearshore prey is fast and uses structure, kelp, and rocks as cover. The young seal learns to slow down, wait, and strike with short bursts instead of long chases. Success often comes as a small win, a single fish, a quick swallow, then an immediate scan for danger. Recovery is part of the strategy: haul out, breathe, warm up, repeat. Over time, the ocean becomes less chaotic and more readable, as if the animal is finally learning the grammar of water and trusting it. Experience turns chaos into patterns the seal can read. As a juvenile, a harbor seal meets new risks: predators, boat noise, changing currents, and variable prey. Many threats are indirect signals rather than scenes of impact. Birds lifting, baitfish tightening, a sudden quiet in the kelp can all mean move now. The seal's best defense is timing and geometry, staying near structure, surfacing briefly, choosing routes that minimize exposure. Not every danger results in contact, but every danger forces decisions that spend energy. In nature, survival is often about avoiding the worst moment, not winning a fight and recovering fast after each scare. The safest win is the danger you never meet. Adulthood is repetition with refinement. Harbor seals often return to familiar haulouts because local knowledge matters: which rocks stay dry, where the escape lanes are, how the tide turns. The cycle alternates between feeding at sea and resting onshore, with breeding behavior woven into the nearshore months. Social spacing is pragmatic, close enough to share a safe platform, far enough to avoid unnecessary contact. The meaning is in continuity. The same shoreline that tested a newborn now hosts a seasoned adult. The animal is not safe, but it is better adapted to uncertainty and efficient in how it moves. Efficiency becomes the adult's advantage in rough years. Molting is recovery. As old fur is replaced, harbor seals spend more time hauled out because stable warmth supports skin and coat renewal. Activity slows. Long stillness is normal. The sea remains nearby, but the focus shifts from chasing calories to restoring the body for the next cycle. Underwater, movement becomes measured: short swims, controlled breathing, minimal waste. The shoreline, meanwhile, keeps changing, erasing tracks and rewriting boundaries with every tide. The story ends without a single final battle. It ends the way most wild lives do, with adaptation, maintenance, and the quiet certainty that the next season will begin again, soon enough. After renewal, the cycle is ready to run again.